First things first, you cannot tell me this is not the most gangster looking thing now that it's down on all fours, off the jack stands, ready to rock and roll. Look, I'm not gonna waste any time. We're gonna get right into it today. We're gonna put the ramps down on the trailer. We're gonna fire this thing up, load it up, and take it over to a buddy's house where we're gonna go ahead and start building the cold side. So, let's do it. Damn kids broke the door. They broke the door on me. I'll waste this man's good food.
Doors up or what? What's that? Doors up or what? You think we got enough room?
So all I gotta do is go from there to there. Simple, right?
Yeah, all you gotta do is.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's easy. Ain't nothing but a thing. Yeah, that's why I wanted to do the 90 straight off. Like they make a 4-inch to a 3-inch 90, but I couldn't get it.
If not, we can do pie cuts.
Yeah, I've got. So because SHITBOX Supply has 3-inch aluminum fucking pie cuts pre-made.
Oh, you got them?
Yeah. Come on. Look at that. We leave to get some shit and we come back and now we gotta figure it out. Would that work?
It's possible.
I think the problem.
Take a chance on cutting.
Oh, I don't give a shit. I think the only problem is still that whole
Angle. You
well,
still gotta have a couple pies in there.
when I come there and get the fourth one.
You want to sit it in?
Yeah, go ahead.
You want to scratch the paint?
Yeah, be careful on the paint.
We're in a heated game right now.
This is original. Like, what's the score?
Yes, I'm gonna be happy with the woodpecker in the lumberyard.
You would need like, well, it depends on how tight that is, but you need like maybe like one pie cut just to get it straight right there.
Right. Something like that. This bitch is getting good.
My man even said bam again.
Bam! Bam fixes everything. Bam makes everything possible. Some asshole cut it too short.
Oh man.
Another bang on. Same at the top. Or you don't want to.
If you can go here shorter to get it over.
Yeah, to get
this.
it over. So the goal here is functionality. Beautiful would be cool, but functional is more important. I think it still needs to be over more. But if I go any further, we're gonna start cutting into the bend and it's gonna oblong.
Let's tack this one here. Let me roll that one so it stops. I don't know why.
No, of course not. I do it at the house, but not here. Grease everywhere.
Right here and here.
Right there, high to the left. There we go. That's a work of art. It's too nice, man. That's just too nice. Look at that. Back home, we've got some more work to do. I want to give a huge shout out to Chris. Chris, you know, got this cold side done up, and now it is the nicest part of this whole turbo kit build. Everything incredible, beautiful, simple, very well welded. So thank you to Chris for that. We still got to drill out the hole for the blow-off valve, so I can't forget that, but obviously we need the good pictures and we need to kind of see it all come together. After we get that done, there's a couple more caretaking things I gotta do, and we're gonna start driving this thing and start trying to tune on it, I guess. So right now we're gonna get something to eat. But movie magic, next time you see us, we'll be working again. Oh. Ooh. Oh, and the drill bit too with it. You know, one time this happened to, it actually happened to Jim. So Jim, if you're watching this video, haha, shout out to you, but you're not gonna find this one as funny. He had somebody build his turbo kit and they forgot to, like they did like this, they welded it on, his cold side and everything, but they forgot to drill the hole out.
And they put it on.
And they put it on everything.
Oh,
like,
no.
And he raced it like that forever. Like it was a really long time. Like he took it apart for something and then was like, wait a minute, there's no hole here. That do be happening sometimes. You gotta remember to drill them holes out. So we're finally at the point now where I gotta hook the computer up. We gotta try to shoot fireballs in the driveway. That's the stage of tuning we're at. Does it make boost? We don't even know if it makes boost yet. We didn't have a cold side. Now we got a cold side. Fireballs in the driveway. Sounds like perfect logical sense. I wish we could take it out and test it. I can't really drive it around because it rained today. So slicks and rain ain't gonna add up. That ain't gonna do us no good. But we're gonna see what we can do. Let's air these tires up and make it happen. Yeah, go for it. So how did that look?
It looks nasty and it's all shaking and rocking and getting crazy. I saw the flames.
You saw? I saw flames. Yeah, when it's.
I'm gonna ask the kids because they're sitting at the window going, like what they're supposed to be looking for.
I think Bernie Mac said, "F them kids." He said that. Also, it was kind of my fault because I forgot to set the train's brake launch. It was down at like 3,600. Like it was low. I saw flames. I don't know
That
what
light
you're talking
did it. It was cool though.
It was cool, and it worked. It made boost. It definitely.
Kids said no fire.
No fire.
Where would it?
All right. Well, then we can make it make fire. We can,
No. Like
Yeah.
no.
We can. Like
Like,
it's
get out of the window.
it's just a couple
There's going to be
keys.
No fire this evening.
Yeah.
No fire.
So yeah, this thing's pretty cool. I made a little bit of change to some of the idle fueling, and then also talked to a friend, thank you Cameron, who reached out. We were just talking about, you know, what I was going through and some of the stuff, and he was like, oh yeah, got a similar cam, and what I had to do, actually go through to the mechanical set screw on the idle, on the throttle body, he said, and bring that up a little bit, bring the, you know, the mechanical, not the computer controlled idle, because what was happening is the idle air control valve was just wide open because the mechanical part of it was too far closed. So now that I've logged it, I'm going to check and see what idle air control looked like. Did it come back down to where a more reasonable level or what? So we got that sorted. I had a fresh battery, brand new battery in it. It started up great. Idle started great. Everything sounded great. Like if we could find a piece of dry road. If we could find a piece of dry road right now, because this thing is gangster. Man, this is awesome. And it didn't come apart. Nothing crazy happened. It boosted. It held it. I do want to fix this clamp up just a little bit. It sounded like the blow-off valve worked too. All we gotta do is test this thing. This is what sucks, because for those of you guys watching at home, I just looked at the weather. Now it looks like there's a possibility of rain Saturday at Dig or Die. It's showing like 60%, and I know I've been there before. It rains, it has rained, no big deal. We've got so much working against us. Completely new setup, no clue on any of it, all of that kind of stuff. Do I really want to drive all the way down there? I don't know. I don't know what the game plan is yet. We're gonna put this probably on hold and try to make some passes either tonight or tomorrow. We got to start shaking it down, because we still got to figure out shift points, because I'm no longer shifting it. We have to figure out how good our boost control is. There's kind of a guess in there right now as far as the PIDs and all that kind of stuff. Do we have good boost control? Yeah, there's a lot to catch up on. I have no clue what the spring is, what the wastegate spring is in there. So now we gotta look at data logs. We'll see how much boost we made on the brake, everything. I had to command it kind of funky, and it's just because the way that it used to be set up is not the way that it's currently set up anymore. I had to change some things, and I may have missed the mark on that. Let's take a look at the log and see. So, yeah, we got up to 9.5 pounds on the brake. Oil pressure looked good, fuel pressure, air fuel is what it is to be expected. And also we did all that at 3,500 RPM. Yes. We're working and twerking, baby. This joke great. So much travel, this damn thing. We gotta reseat the beads on these, because I decided that one time off-roading was a good idea, and it got a bunch of dirt, as you can see, in the beads of these two tires, and they've been going low, and I haven't really messed with it because we haven't had any reason to yet. Now that we're gonna take it out testing, we need to make sure we got good proper air. Yeah, so that blow-off valve shouldn't be open. And I'm sure that's, I mean, it shouldn't make it run like that though. Like, we just pulled it on the trailer, everything was fine. I put it on the training brake last night. Made 10 pounds of boost, no issue. Now it's running half stupid. What the hell happened here? This is just manifold pressure, so.
Right.
So the only thing I can think of is the only thing I changed was that throttle pedal, and I took the fuel pressure down to 40, because that's what we want to run. Why? Because we can maximize the pump. We have enough injector to maximize the pump with only 40 psi, but it's kind of sounding like we got to go back up to 50s on it. I don't know.
What are the injectors rated at?
They're 210, they're 200.
So you can do 43 or 60.
I think I know what I did, but we know how to make it work. I think I messed up when I did the calibration on setting fuel pressure properly in the Holly. Maybe somewhere along the lines there, it didn't take when I said 40 PSI, but now back to 60 where the original calibration was. Boom, 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 works. So we're gonna do that for now. The regulator goes up to 85. That is what it is. So we can get 25 pounds of boost, allegedly, out of it. We're gonna have to fix that. So let me see what we can get figured out here. Fortunately, we found some tires, some used slicks that are better than mine that I realized had a chunk missing out of it that I forgot about. So we're gonna unload this thing off the trailer, get some new slicks on it, some new used slicks, but we're right at a good spot where we can go test the car. So let's go ahead and unload it, get that figured out. I was wrong about the blow-off valve. It's back and forth on whether or not you need the heavy spring in there, but open at idle is just fine. It closes like it's supposed to. If we have any issue with it where it seems like it's opening under boost, then we'll look at that, but I don't think we're gonna have that issue. Fuel pressure, everything kind of got sorted, and yeah, we're tires away from making some hits on this thing. At least figuring out what size spring is in the wastegate and all that. So let's get it unloaded and make it happen. You know, you can still kind of split the final. Yeah,
Yeah, I hit it. I love these machines, man. I was back when the old machine, the one that you got hit and it go.
Go. Shit. It's way easier when you actually use the machine. Usually I just force them on there and then just push them up.
You gonna make a test hit tonight?
Yeah. Oh man. I've been doing this the hard way for so long. This one here was missing a chunk, and I don't know that it's the end of the world, like probably won't explode, whatever, but I also probably want to go fast in the Nova, so I don't want to play that game. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth my life. I got kids, I got a fiance. I really like all of them, the dogs, so it just ain't worth it. So what I'm trying to do here is, we don't know what size the wastegate spring is, so I'm going to leave it on wastegate for the first 3 seconds. That should be half the run, and that should leave us enough time in the log to figure out how much boost it's making just purely on wastegate spring alone. And then I'm going to ramp it in to, actually 10 pounds on the dome is a little much because I don't know what the spring is, so let's go 5. Let's just go 5 across, and then we'll add 5 pounds to it. Because if it's a, you know, if it's a 6 pound spring, 11, that's fine. But if it's for some reason like it's a 10 pound spring or something crazy, and we get 15, we should be able to handle 15. Not necessarily like with the tune issue or anything, but for my first time driving it, we don't want to get buck wild and crazy. So that should work. Perfect. Now we can go make a hit. Oh, the old girl. The old girl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, little boosty boost?
Feels good.
Feels good. Feels very good.
Oh shit, you know.
I have no idea what happened there, but now it's just like battery said, see you later. We had some condensation and stuff come up on the windshield, so I let out. I didn't want to push it. And yeah, then as I was just riding out, coasting, like battery died. Now it sounds like the battery's dead, which I don't understand how that could be possible. But it looks like we're pushing it from here. Good times. But it did 170 to the 60 foot, so that's kind of cool, I guess. Well, as my luck would go, had a little problem with the pass, but there wasn't an issue. Like, I got, you know, kind of down the street. I said, all right, let me, I felt boost start coming in, you know, as commanded. I let out, no big deal. Cruised, stalled out, died, didn't want to start again. And then when we got it started up, got it on the trailer, and it sounds like there's rocks in the engine. Now, I have just spent the last however much time combing through the data log. There is absolutely nothing. Fuel, perfect. Timing, perfect. It saw 6,800 RPM and like 9 pounds at most, because I had it set for wastegate, which ended up being, it was on average like 5.5. So maybe it's a 6 pound spring or something in there for 3 seconds, and then I brought some boost in and it was working, doing everything, and I brought a very little amount of boost in. No, it did not over boost, did not go lean. There's nothing in any of the sensors, did not lose oil pressure, did not. There is no logical explanation for why it sounds like it does, but we're about to fire it up and I'm gonna see if I can isolate where the sound is coming from. It is distinctly possible. It is possible that it could be coming from somewhere else. Like, it could be not motor internal. It could be that this thing here is just touching, and maybe that's the ting ting we hear or something. I just want to be sure, because if I have to pull this motor out, or up, you know, out, I don't even know anymore. Whatever. Like, let's just fire it up and see what the hell. Turbo's not spinning. Why is the turbo not spinning? You ever hear a grown man like just scream out of anger and frustration?
We're about to.
You're about to. You're about to. Why the f ain't the turbo spinning? Why is the turbo tight? Let me just see. I would like to try to fire it up without the turbo connected, because the turbo feels a little tight, and if there's something wrong, I don't want to destroy a turbo too. So let me move this stuff and fire it up. It is not what I think it is. We don't have to tear this whole damn thing apart. I was thinking like, oh, that sounds like maybe, you know, a rocker was loose and a push rod is smacking around and something like that. but that doesn't seem to be the case. I'm not trying to say like I'm the main, I'm not super fantastic or anything, but I know generally I don't leave these rockers loose. Well, I'm not really sure what's going on. It sounds valve train-ish. We've turned the motor over. All the rockers are moving. They're all moving well. It's not like we've got like a collapsed lifter or something that's, you know, not getting a full range of motion. They're all turning. They're all compressing the spring very well. I pulled the intake just up, so you know, like I'm like it almost sounds like something banging off the back of the intake valve or something. Stuck my camera down there, looked at all the intake valves. There's nothing in there, like a bolt didn't fall in there or anything else. I don't really know. The only other option, well, I mean, there's a couple options. We can put it back together, fire it back up, try harder to isolate the noise, figure out where it's coming from. I even spun the motor over a bunch, made sure it wasn't coming like, you know, it was like a converter bolt hitting something or something wild and silly like that. You know, I've got nothing. So it's looking pretty well like the motor's gonna have to come apart to figure out whatever it is that's making that noise. I'm not sure. At this point, I really don't know, and it's super hard to tell from what we're seeing. Everything checks out. The log, completely normal. No, like I said, no lean spots, you know, timing was right. Did not push it hard, was just trying to take it easy, just trying to figure out what the wastegate was and then throw a couple pounds on top of the wastegate just to see how it was reacting, to make sure MAC valves and stuff were working. All that was fine. So we can compression check it, see what that tells us. Slight problem is I don't have a compression test beforehand, so we don't have anything to compare it to. But if we compression check it and find like a dead hole, I don't know how we would have ended up with a dead hole. We're not making dig or die. Things would have had to have gone, we would have had to gone testing. I had a whole series of, we're gonna start here, then we gotta do this, then we gotta do this, then we gotta do this, then we, you know, and just work through the list. We were planning on actually being out testing for some time, not just, oh, make a hit and we're done. We had a pretty good test area where we could, you know, make multiple hits and just keep working through it and just kind of keep figuring it out. But I don't know what the problem is. I've never been a quitter, but man, would it feel good to quit right now. I've come too far. I've come too far. This might push me over the edge to do something drastic. We'll see how far this takes us, what kind of wormhole we go down. Burnout would probably look super cool. Did a really good burnout. I wasn't quite ready for it. I expected it to hit the RPMs a little harder, but 373 gear, blah blah blah. You know, it did a good job. And then chassis wise, oh my god, it felt so great. Like, I'll tell you guys, because it doesn't really matter. We weren't trying to light the world on fire. We left on wastegate and ran wastegate for 3 seconds out, and at 170 on the nose, 60 footed, it left and it climbed to the 60 foot and it set back on the rear tire real nice. And I don't know if maybe it was a little bit of, you know, steering wheel or whatever. It didn't go exactly straight, but could have been just me. I did check the anti-roll bar earlier and it seemed like it was set like I used to have it set. We've moved a lot of weight around in here. I might have to readjust the leaf springs, but the 170 60 foot just felt really good, nice and easy, kept climbing, set back on the rear tire. The chassis working phenomenally, having the turbo where it's at, reasoning behind it and all that seems like my theory and what I thought was going to happen. Seems like it will work and it will do what I wanted it to do. So I'm very happy about that. I'm just unhappy about whatever the hell is going on. By the time you guys see this video, I will either have completely torn this engine apart and found what is wrong, or I will have lost my mind, or I will have quit, or whatever the case may be. But it sucks because we could go to dig or die, but I don't want to leave a problem here. If we go to dig or die, I'm closing this motor up and then this becomes a next week problem. If we make it a next week problem, that just delays us ever getting it figured out, and it delays us, you know, moving forward and progressing. So as cool as it would be to provide awesome coverage to dig or die, we need to get this car right, because there's races still in December, in January, in February. You know, Turbo John's thing's in January. I think Clifton's throwing something in like February, and there's good races, back half stuff where I want to, you know, try to have some fun with this thing. I can't, I don't know. I don't know that it's worth giving up my time to go somewhere else. You know, I've been working hard and I want to get this done, and I want to get it rocking and rolling right, because so far everything that's been tested has worked. What are we gonna do next time? Who the hell knows at this point? I'm tired. I've been busting ass for weeks on end. The good news, like, you know, theories about stuff is working. Systems are working. Stuff is functioning. We are building boost. There is, you know, some stuff still to change and figure out and get a little more dialed in. But as far as why this motor is making noise, beyond me. So, see you guys next time. Or hopefully we will have figured this nightmare out.